Here we have a question that was released on the PBA. This stands for Problem-Based Assessments. And there's a question over here, and this is where we're going to read what we should do with these actions over here. So it says, a basket of apples is pulled with a constant force. A friction force acts in a direction opposite to the motion. The basket starts at rest and increases its speed over time. Then we can look at the picture. It says forces acting on the basket. We can see the pull is going to the right. We can see friction, of course, is opposing that motion to the left. And it says click on each action that will reduce the rate at which the speed of the basket changes. So wait, what's that mean again? Sometimes you read things and you're like, what did I just read? So I'm supposed to click on the actions. So these are the actions. I got to click on these. That will reduce the rate. What does that mean? Slow down. Slow down the speed of the basket. So when I look over at these actions and I read all 6 of them, and I'm going to give you a moment to read those. Did you notice that they were kind of in pairs of opposites? Like these are opposites, pull with less force, pull with more force. These were opposites. Add an apple to the basket, take an apple out of the basket. Smooth the surface of the table to decrease friction. Roughen the surface of the table to increase friction. So there was just a little side note observation that I made. I'm going to start up here in this blue box. Now remember, I want something that is going to slow the speed at which the basket changes. So what would make that happen? Pulling with less force or pulling with more force? Take a moment and take a guess on which one would cause that basket to slow down. Okay, pull with more force, that would make it go faster. So if you were thinking pull with less force, you are correct. That would reduce the rate at which the speed of the basket changes. In our second box here, it says, in our green, add an apple to the basket or take an apple out of the basket. Take a guess which one you think would cause the basket to slow down when you are pulling it. Okay, I know when I add things to something that I'm pulling, it's harder to pull. When I take things out of something I'm pulling, it's easier to pull. So if you were thinking add an apple to the basket, you are absolutely right. That would cause the speed of the basket to slow down. And then I've got these two. I can smooth the surface to make friction less, or I can rough the surface to make friction more. Which one would reduce the rate of the basket? If you were thinking roughen the surface to increase friction, you are correct, right? If I have more friction, it's harder to pull. When it's harder to pull, I may pull that slower. I could definitely reduce the rate at which the speed of the basket is changing. Now this question was worth 2 points, and I wanted to show you that to get 2 points, you had to click the 3 things that we talked about, and you would get 1 point if you had clicked at least 2 things that were right, with no more than 1 incorrect response. And so it's nice to know that when you are taking these tests, even being able to pick up 1 point is better than getting no points. And so, but on this one, I'm going to guess that you probably predicted correctly all 3 responses.